Hello, welcome to Real Talk, the talk show where we cover real relationship problems with real unfiltered answers. I'm your male host, James Spearing, and this is my female host, Christina Yeagle, with her opinions and thoughts. So today, what this is we're going to go ahead and cover over some of the realest relationship problems that you guys never can figure out at home because you're too busy being angry with each other. And today, what we're going to cover is the why I'm not enough. So you currently personally have some experience with this, as we were talking a little bit earlier.
Okay, first off, I said it was the end game.
The end game.
That's what I'm
right.
working
We're talking about
towards.
the end game. Okay, so what were you trying to say in regards to the end game?
Well, it seems like in relationships that I've had, it always ends up being that I'm not enough or I'm not chosen above something else that they want to do. So for me, it's why am I not enough to be the end game? Why am I not enough to be married, to be with for the rest of their lives? Why am I not enough?
Okay, now just out of pure curiosity, is this one of those things where they've like told you, "Hey, you're not enough"? Like, have they been blunt about it?
No, it's more of the infidelity in one relationship I had. Another one was that they're still in love with their ex. Another one was that they chose drugs over me.
So what do you feel like women in a sense? Because I feel like this 9 times out of 10, at least in my opinion, comes off as more I hear from men than I typically hear from women. So when women feel like this way, like, okay, so like you said, you were talking about drugs being the problem or infidelity or anything else like that. Um, but I'm going to come across on the male side of saying, well, for us, we have to have the important job. We have to have the right looks. We have to have the car, the home, the house, and everything. Not to, because when you marry into a family, you typically don't marry into just you're not marrying just the woman, you're typically marrying the entire woman's family. When that whole role is reversed, that's not the case.
For me, it is. For me, I would prefer to be with somebody, and then if we got to the point where we wanted to be together for the rest of our lives, we would get a house together. We would figure out our living situation together. And they don't have to have the nicest car. They don't have to have a $50,000 vehicle. They don't have to have a $250,000, $500,000 house. It's the fact that they are the person that I feel like is equal to me.
Well, and like you said, no one's told you that you weren't enough. I
Not
mean,
in
you're basing this off of what they've done or things that they've done, but no one has come out and been like, "Hey, Christina, no, you're not enough for me." All right.
Yes, but sometimes action speaks louder than words.
No, and that's a true statement, and that's one of the things I think that we tend to deal with when it comes to relationships is, you could say whatever you want, but if it's not followed up by action, it definitely puts a little bit of a damper into it. So my response to that in regards to not being enough, you know, for me from a male perspective or anything else like that, like in my opinion, what would go through my head, and I'm pretty sure a lot of men out there in society would be, I'm with you. I mean, that kind of already proves that you're enough. Just like in a sense, couldn't you say the same thing? I mean, what would you say if your spouse looked at you and blatantly asked you, why am I not enough?
Well, I would wonder where they got that from.
Well, let's just say you're spending a lot of time with your mom. Or what are some of the other problems? Let's see here. Or your friends. Your
Well,
friends have opinions that you seem to adapt to. That one is a real thing, and it just comes down to why am I not enough?
yeah, but that's not me. I don't adapt to my friends'
I understand.
opinions. I respect them and I take them in hand, but I don't follow them. Like
Right.
my family and my friends could not like the person I'm with. I would like it if they did, but it's not a deal breaker.
But you don't think that that changes the dynamic of your relationship, though? I mean, we're looking at family dinners, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that stuff.
It makes it harder. It does. It does make it harder, but if the person's worth fighting for, you're going to do it.
Yeah, but don't you think over time that's going to bring issues into that relationship?
I think it really depends on the people.
Well, I mean, and absolutely, that definitely is one of the things. And here on Real Talk, we definitely try to give a broad spectrum of beliefs or whatnot. I definitely feel like the whole not being enough or anything else like that, there's different voids that I think need to be felt. And I think there's different voids that people try to fill that might essentially have nothing to do with you. I know you brought up drugs. Alcohol is another big one, or friends or family or anything else like that. The only reason why I think I would ever take that I wasn't enough is if my spouse was messing around with another person.
Infidelity infidelity. like you
Infidelity
said.
at that point. Yeah. No, that would definitely be probably one of the bigger issues that I think would make me feel like I wasn't enough or anything else. And
Well, and just the excuses that they use. I mean, it's not even like, oh, you're not enough. I need this. I can't survive without this. It's more of like, you did this, so therefore I'm doing this. So like with the whole cheating thing, he said is because I was upset with him all the time and yelling at him all the
were
time.
you?
He wasn't around.
Well, but when he was, were you?
Yeah, because I was angry that he wasn't coming home after work, that he would spend time away from me on purpose. And
Okay.
he told me that he did.
Now, my question comes down to
Plus we had a newborn.
let,
so,
let's
yeah.
let's flip the roles and let's reverse this around. Okay. I feel like this is something that happens a lot in relationships that I don't feel like ever gets addressed.
Yeah.
Okay. That if the roles were reversed and he was the one doing this to you, where you would go to work and then you would come home and then you would go hang out with your friends or family and everything. And when you were around him, he bitched and complained about everything you did. That would just give you a reason, and he'd be the asshole. And that's a standard. And that's not coming from anything normal. This is a normal across the board standard in relationships.
No, I agree with you, but the whole thing is too communication. We've always agreed that communication is a big thing in a relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And if he would have communicated to me, which he never did, and that was the biggest problem I had, is he wouldn't show up until late at night, and I would have no idea where he was or what he was doing.
Right. Well, and I think as men, we're always worried about, you're talking about not feeling like enough. Well, as a man and as someone who's been here and done that and everything else like that, who's been married, who I have kids, and I've done, alternative relationship. I've done just about everything in that aspect. Okay. Talking to women is not easy.
Talking to men isn't easy either.
Talking to women in a sense of, as men, we're brought up to look past the emotions and look at facts. That's a true statement. That is 100% true. In his mind, if you look at the factual from what you described going on, is he'd go to work, go do whatever he was doing, but when he was home, you were yelling at him. So in his mind, factual, just looking at it as is, not anything past that, looking as is, all he saw was you mad at him all the time.
Well, and it wasn't always me mad at him, though. Like,
You understand what I mean, yeah.
Sometimes
But
it was worry. Like, I didn't know where he was, so I was worried that he got in a car
well,
wreck.
how do you show worry?
I tell him, I'm like, I was worried about you. You need to let me know where you're going because.
Right.
And then I'd always get the remark, "Oh, don't worry about me."
Well, yeah, because we don't definitely worry causes sadness and everything else
yeah,
like that.
but we are women. Women, as attendant feminists, we worry. We worry about people we care about.
Yeah, but at the same time, so now he's got worry and anger.
Okay, but what would happen, like, say, in your relationship if your wife didn't come home after work and she didn't call you?
This has happened a whole bunch of times. No.
But have you ever gotten upset about it?
Absolutely.
Okay, then there you go.
Well, no. I understand that, but I understand that. But when that happened in my situations and stuff like that, what I normally felt was this was a non-routine matter. You're dealing with the situation that it was routine. That this was something that happened all the time, and if this was something that you continued to stay through at a point in time, I feel like you're allowing that to continue on.
Yeah.
And so what I'm asking though, when it comes down to just facts, remove all emotion, which is.
And I can respect facts. I don't have a problem
Right.
with facts.
So facts is really come down to, honey, I go to work, I come home, I go do my stuff either out in the garage, I go do this or go do that. And when I'm home, you're mad.
Yeah, and what
so
I
factually, no, factually, we're only looking at facts now.
Okay, well, facts from my end. Facts from my end is I get up, I go to work by 5 o'clock in the morning, I come home by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have to go all the way out to go pick up my kid from daycare, come all the way back home. I am at home with my kid from that point on for the rest of the night by myself.
Well, and I definitely feel like as a human being and as a male, you definitely should invest the time into your kids and into your home life and everything else like that. But, a lot of times as men, we tend to not look at different aspects of things of mental disorders. And 90% of marriages, there is typically a female that's involved in or one partner involved. I don't even want to just say female because we have, homosexuality and we have, all these different forms of it.
One of the two people
are typically medicated for some form of depression or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's typically not the one that is what I would call the power partner. And what I mean by that is it's the one that has kind of the stronger sense of the relationship in regards to how it is. You know, like you were talking about this person that you were with, you know, he kind of just did his own thing. And that's what I would consider a power person, the one, you know, who really kind of came down to it. Now, whether or not he was or not, but this was a person that probably, this is probably somebody who needed to have medication, that needed to have.
Yeah, but he refuses to get help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one thing that we definitely don't agree on, is, you know, really coming down to avoiding help. Shouldn't matter if you're a man or a woman or anything else like that. Help is needed in all places. But, you know, I'm pretty sure if we look up some statistics, which I'll go ahead and put a bubble here, I'm pretty sure we look at women that are medicated and married, it's probably a pretty high percentage compared to men who are medicated while married.
Actually, it is. But also the other fact, too, is that more women are willing to go get help for their problems than men are. And again, we can look at the statistics, but I'm pretty sure that that's...
Yeah, we'll put some more statistics here. But I think that's also, it is better in our time in our generation for men to fix women than it is for women to fix men. That is a post that I see all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It doesn't matter. Don't fix him. If he loves you, he'll change himself. I never see this about women. Treat her like a queen, like she should be. I see all these posts all the time, all over Facebook.
I think it's because a lot of times people perceive women to be very soft, and not some are, but not all women are soft.
Well, and you don't have to be
abusive.
Side. You don't have to be hard and masculine to be abusive. You can be abusive as soft or anything else like that.
Yeah, it's just the way that you treat your partner in the relationships.
Yeah.
And that's basically how I felt, is I wasn't being treated, like even in our good times. There were times that I would do things and it just didn't feel like.
Right, absolutely. All right, well, you know what? We're going to wrap that up. We're going to have some different information. I'm going to leave a poll down here at the bottom, and I want you to figure out whose side do you guys agree on, mine or Christina's. Make sure you tune in, you know, for the next show, and let us know if there's a conversation or something that you guys are struggling with, and let us know what we could do to possibly talk about it and walk it out. All right, thank you.
Bye.